Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, July 7th, and this is your daily financial news. Remember, we do this every day, right around 7:30. Sometimes on Thursday, I need to moderate it a little bit because one of our expert series does an interview starting at 7:30. So Thursday, that's the exception. So 6 days a week, we're on at 7:30. On Thursdays, it's before or after 7:30, depending on how much reading I get done for you. Remember, we are looking for 120 thumbs up from July 5th onward. We're rocking it yesterday, July 6th, but we do need to help out Sunday, July 5th. So if you need to do me a favor, if you want to have another hour dedicated 100% to your questions, we need to go back to the July 5th financial news. I think it was like 88. So it was not viewed a whole bunch, at least not given a bunch of thumbs up. So we need to go back to July 5th, give it some thumbs up, and we will do another Saturday session. But again, we're playing a game together. 120 thumbs up this week for all the daily financial news, and we will do an hour of questions. I have faith in you. So the deal is put all of your questions below in any of this week's daily financial news, and I will organize them Friday and answer them Saturday. I think 2 weeks ago we did 22 questions. This week I think we did 24 or 25 questions. So that's right around the limit. We got really close to the hour. So I look forward to doing it. It's always fun for me to see where your questions are. But the deal is we need to go back and get July 5th up to 120. We need to make sure we do 120 going forward. So another thing I want to let you know about is I put out an exciting, or at least I thought it was exciting, interview yesterday with a 20-year-old who was asking for some mentoring questions. I think it was a pretty long video. It was 40 minutes, I think. But again, if you have anybody who's in college thinking about being in business or investing or real estate or whatever, do yourself a favor, take a look at that interview. I thought he asked some hard questions, and then pay attention to the end. He asked me what was the stupidest thing I did with my money in my 20s. So if you pay attention to the end, you will know what the stupidest thing is I bought when I was in my 20s. And it was really dumb, but it was fun. I will admit that. So go back and see what it was for you. So again, the daily financial news today, lots of stuff going on. A couple of real estate specific things we will do at the end of this. But realize again, we are an economy driven by our consumers, so we have to watch them. And with this constant drumbeat of, I don't know what you want to call it, case information, whatever you want to call it, rising in the Sun Belts, plus localized, I don't know if you want to call them shutdowns or reversing's or whatever, we're really trying to impact that consumer's, I don't know if it's psyche or whatnot. So we've got to watch it. We've already got some fast data from airlines. United put out some data this morning that just in the last 3 or 4 business days, they've seen a decline in activity. The July 4th weekend was actually good news for them. But since then, and again, it's only Tuesday, they've already seen kind of a decline in future bookings. And again, you got to remember they're at 80% down already. So not good news. Definitely furloughs and those organizations will be smaller. I think it's October 1st is what they agreed to, given the bailout they had from the CARES Act. Next up, China. China came out Monday and told their citizens to buy stocks. In all honesty, I was a little exacerbated when I kind of saw that. I'm like, what are they doing, right? There's been months on months where it's been pretty well known that the China government was buying stocks, and now they're telling their citizens to buy stocks. And that's what triggered China's market to pop 6% yesterday. We actually talked about that on the daily financial news as something breaking. I think it was an 850-day trend line, right? Who knew there was such a thing, but apparently there is. But I gotta admit, that was kind of the same message we had after 9/11. I don't know if you remember 9/11 specifically. We're in the stock market, but I remember actually buying stock the first day the stock market was open, knowing that the stocks were going to go down. It just, I don't know why, but it was like the patriotic thing to do. Again, I didn't buy a lot, but I did my thing. So it's not unheard of. I don't remember that being a national kind of edict, but it was definitely something going on. So it is interesting. What is interesting about the China news is you typically, or at least again, comparing to 9/11, that came out right away, right? We're into this health crisis now 6 months. Now they're saying that. So I'm wondering if China's seeing a double dip, right? And they can't keep easing and pumping money into the system. So something to watch for sure, because this is not over yet, and there's more pain to come for the worldwide economy. Uh, Elon Musk, man, he is an agitator sometimes, huh? I don't know if you saw this, but he put on his website red short shorts with the names of his cars. Basically, I don't know, giving the middle finger to the SEC and all the short sellers who've been trying to take his stock down. 69 420, obviously 420 is being a call out to his tweet that got him in trouble. He had funding to take it private at 420. Now the stock's at what? I don't even remember, 15 or 1600, something stupid. Maybe even 2000. I have no idea what Tesla is at today. It's the most valuable car company, but I don't know. I actually like that he's willing to, go out on the edge and push it a little bit. I thought that was pretty creative. And of course they sold out within minutes, but it was pretty funny. BlackRock came out today and really talked about the U.S. And the Europe economy, which I thought was interesting. They're basically saying, given what they are seeing in both economies, that it is likely Europe will outperform the US. A lot of that being because of how the health crisis is being handled. And whether you want to argue the fact or not, in this report, it talked about in Europe, in most cases, being handled very differently. Hence, the economies could start up and go faster. In the US, it seems to be very hit and miss. But again, those opinions can change and change quickly. But I did think it was interesting to see a comparison between Europe and the US. I think something that is coming that we have to realize is there are lots of states in trouble. The biggest, California and New York, are obvious with 54 and $61 billion deficits at the state level. That there's going to be both headcount cut and services cut and rising taxes, right? They run balanced budgets. Unlike the federal government, states typically run balanced budgets. So they have to get to the quote unquote number. And they are now in their fiscal year. Their fiscal years for many states start July 1st. And it's going to be hard to balance that budget this year. So we need to realize that many of these states will have significant cuts to services, headcount cut, and rising taxes, unless they get part of bailout number 4 or stimulus number 4, which again, I have to say it, I've said it 3 days in a row. I can't believe our government is on summer recess until July 20th. I mean, really? Are you here to help us or not? I don't get it. We're going to talk about Vegas at the end because it's pretty crazy. I don't know if you saw this, but India banned TikTok. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Now the U.S. just last night I saw is looking at potentially banning TikTok because it's owned by a China company. That will be interesting, right? I do not recall an app, certainly an app the size of TikTok, being banned in the US. That would create that would be interesting to watch if that was to truly happen. Yeah, that'd be interesting to watch. But again, it's out there, and I don't get it, right? It's typically, what is it, 15 or 30 seconds of dancing and music. I don't get it, but I'm not the target audience, so I'm an old white guy. I don't know, but yeah, it would be interesting. It's one of the most popular apps out there, and if not the most popular. And let's not forget they were at least talking about going public here. So it will be interesting. What else? Oh, Palantir is a big data analytics company, very secretive in the Valley. It's even more secretive if you're in the Valley than Apple. Apple has long been known to be very secretive about what is coming in their products. Nobody talks about it. You talk about it, you get fired, all of that stuff. Palantir is even more secretive. And they just filed their paperwork to go IPO. It is interesting. It's just early stages. They're so secretive. It'll be interesting to see what their S1 looks like. I always think they might go to a direct listing or some other fashion to get around it. I don't know. But it is, it's going to be an IPO to watch. If you're in the big data or big analytics space, usually with like Elasticsearch, they went IPO, and some others. They're up big, plus IPOs have been good this year, so it's good timing if you're a Palantir to jump into that IPO window, given your, I don't know if you want to call them competitors or peers, are doing very well, up 60% or something this year, and IPOs have been doing very well, with many of them doubling, so good time to go. I don't know if you saw this. I don't watch the typical YouTube guys I watched a year ago or so. But Graham Stephan just did a stimulus video yesterday. I'm used to that coming from his peer. And maybe he's doing more of them and I've just missed it. But I thought it was interesting that it seems like he broke down and did one. I guess he was tired of all the others making money, I guess. I don't know. But folks, there's been 3 stimuluses done this year, which are interesting to talk about. But all this other nonsense that is going to happen until the Senate gets together, it's wasting time. It's wasting your time watching it, and go out and do something to move yourself forward. Talking about what this or that stimulus things is I just don't get it. But I thought it was when I saw it on my YouTube feed, I was like, oh my God, Graham Stephan did a stimulus video? What the heck? I didn't watch it, so for all I know, it's awesome. I didn't watch it. I don't watch them. What else? So again, the Sun Belt is something we have to watch. Again, because as I started this, it's about the consumer. It's about the consumer. We got to watch the Sun Belt, right? And we have to watch 3 things. 2 of them, all of them are important, but 2 of them are kind of today's spending, and then 1 is very core to this channel. So we need to watch retail, right? Not Amazon retail, like ship to your house retail, but store retail. This is shoppers feeling comfortable going to stores. That is going to be a big deal. And as the Sun Belt goes on semi-lockdown or whatever you want to call it, we're scaring consumers with more and more, hey, case counts up 2,000, 4,000, whatever they are. The consumer is probably going to retreat again. And again, we are a consumer economy. That is not good. We need currency going through the system. Number 2 is eating out. Eating out is a big employer, right? Restaurants can do pickup. They can do, delivery. But again, it's a big employer. So if people can't dine in, that is not going to help with employment growing. But the big one for us is housing. Housing, primary ownership, first-time homeowners. Are we going to scare buyers and sellers again? On the seller side, we are already at record low supply. So that is something to watch. But it's the demand side. We have been surprised by demand, both in mortgage apps and pendings and all of these things. So that is interesting. So again, we have to watch housing because again, it is, given the supply demand picture, we are going to see price increases. I am going to do another video probably in about 30 minutes live stream about forbearance. I got word from a follower that was in forbearance that just got a bill for 3 months. They are not part of the FHA or government-backed loan. So this was a private, I don't know what you would call it, mortgage. They got 90 days, but the bank is not giving any more time. So I'm going to tell that story. And it might be something to watch out for because some of these 90-day forbearance, if you're not in the government program, your bill is coming due, and it could be a whopper. So we are going to be watching for that. Lastly, remember, we need 120 thumbs up. We have 50 people watching this, now 49, and only 15 thumbs up. What do I got to do? And last thing, since I got you, if you've had a chance to read the book, do me a favor, leave a 5-star review on Amazon and or Audible, if that's your preferred method. I would greatly appreciate it. I do all of this for free, so if you can leave me a quick review, that would be awesome. Have a wonderful day. Take care.